Hi everyone, welcome to the PCHS podcast. My name is Manpreet and I'm with our peer support coordinator Resham. Today we're going to be talking about work-life balance. So Resham, what do you think a healthy work-life balance looks like to you?
So Manpreet, a healthy work-life balance to me, it looks like when I work like a 9 to 5, right? And within my 9 to 5, I want to give the fullest of my workability to my workplace, but then also be able to disconnect from work after 5 p.m. and then just do things that I like to do, whether it's to read a book, to walk my dog, to spend time with my family, watch a movie, catch up on shows, cook, whatever. But it also means in that work period that you're doing from 9 to 5, make sure that you're doing your work to the fullest. You're not taking shortcuts or anything like that. So yeah, I think just being able to give yourself like that balance of doing professionalism and then personal as well. And also making sure that you keep it separate. If you have like family problems, try not to bring that into your workplace because then it will not enhance your work performance at all and cause like a little downfall in your performance. And obviously we don't want that, especially like if we're dealing with clients, students, or anything like that.
Yeah, just like how you said, like not bringing your personal life to work, just like that you shouldn't bring your work life home because it's not fair to the people you live with, but also it's not fair to yourself. You're constantly going to feel burnt out. You're going to be depleted physically, emotionally, mentally.
Yeah, and especially like if you have kids, you want to be able to make sure you give that time to your kids, right? But I don't have like kids, but I do have a pet, and I like make sure like I want to take him for like a walk or anything, give him that time as well so that he doesn't feel like he's been neglected or like your kids.
So many people say that life just like goes by so quickly, and having that be filled with just thinking about work and not taking that time, like that one-on-one time with your kids, it takes away from the joy of being like a parent or a dog mom or even
exactly.
or even learning how to cook a new meal. But if you feel depleted, like emotionally specifically, what are some ways that you think people can sort of get out of it?
I feel like a lot of workplaces, or like every workplace, they kind of give you that vacation time. Use it. It is very important that you use that vacation time when you can. You want to give yourself that time off, right? What else can you do? Just get away from like your technology, like your laptop, asking your colleagues for help. Like a lot of the times, especially like in our workplace, we're dealing with clients. We have a lot of client files, client visits, and then sometimes it just gets overwhelming. Asking your colleague for help is okay, and always ask your supervisors for help, your team lead, your upper management, and like everyone is there to help you because they want you to succeed at the end of the day.
Yeah, like especially with vacation time and your personal time off, a lot of workplaces, like if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to take it because if you don't take it, you're just wasting vacation days, and you're entitled to those days. You shouldn't feel guilty because I know a lot of people do feel bad about taking time off because they feel like their workload's gonna pile up, but it's very normal and you're very much entitled to those days.
But some people still don't take the time off because they're all about work.
Yeah.
But that's when they don't realize that, okay, like this can lead them to a burnt out.
Exactly. I didn't take my days off until the last month.
Well, at least you took them now, so hopefully you'll enjoy them.
Yeah. And do you feel like at what point should we recognize that we're burning out? When should we kick in like the self-awareness hat and start looking at our everyday patterns and seeing, am I burnt out or am I not recognizing the first initial points of feeling like that?
Yeah, so like when it comes to like burnouts, there's like different signs. There's like physical, behavioral, I think emotional as well. So like if you feel like you're procrastinating on something that you would not procrastinating on, like if your day to day, you're like a good person, you're organized, but you're not doing that, that can be a sign of burnout. Your lack of sleep, if you go home and you feel like you're not getting 7 hours you used to get, right? That could also be a sign of burnout. If you're thinking about work, dreaming about work, I think it's happened to all of us, but that's also a really big sign that, there's a lot going on at work. You're just physically drained as well. You're not engaging with your clients as well as you would, or even your colleagues. You might be a little bit more introverted now. You don't want to talk to anybody, but all these signs will lead to a burnout. And it's important that you kind of recognize those and then just kind of like keep yourself in check. And then that's when you should go and ask your coworkers, your management for help.
Yeah, because everything at that point just seems like a chore. Like every task, every meeting, you feel like it's being dragged on because you're just mentally exhausted. But being honest is so key because going to your manager, your supervisors, it's important because they also need to be aware that you feel overwhelmed and to assign tasks accordingly. But if you go go to your manager, most likely your whole team also feels the same way as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially like client is like our main key. So everyone kind of feels they're on the same page when it comes to like making sure your documents are up to date, client calls, having enough clients, right? So yeah, just look out for the signs, I would say.
Especially in mental health, like you constantly feel like you're not doing enough or you feel guilty, but using that 9 to 5 to give it your all, but then from 5 to onwards, making sure you're like mentally clocked out, using your car ride back home to self-reflect and just leaving everything behind the moment you get home.
Yeah, what I was gonna say to that, especially because we're in mental health, we should know the signs, right? But sometimes we put work as our priority and we shouldn't do that, especially after hours. And you know, if you have like a long drive home, especially if you're taking the 410 or like the 401 or whatever,
you have more than enough time.
Yeah, right? Like more than enough time to kind of like, okay, like mentally clock out, desensitize yourself from work and everything. So yeah. So like one time I had a dream about my workplace. It wasn't even a dream. It was actually in real life. So like I used to answer phone calls, right? And when I was just at work by myself, nobody else is there. They're starting late. So it's just me. And I would hear the phone ring. But then I would look at the phone and it's not ringing. And then I would check to see if I missed the call. And then I'm like, okay, there's like something's going on, right? And then I asked my coworker, I'm like, does this happen to you too? Like where you just hear the phone ring? And she's like, yeah. And then I'm like, okay, like I need to fix this, right? So what I started to do was just like step away from the phones. I told my coworker, I'm like, can you please deal with the calls that come in? And then like I'll take them over again. So I would give myself like a 5-10 minute break, like every 2 hours or so, just to kind of help myself take a step back from the delusion I was having.
At that point, you're like, eat, sleep, everything is work. I had a dream about, this is a constant, is I miss my alarm doesn't work, late for work.
Scary.
Yeah.
Scary.
So there are some people that have a difficult time creating that work-life balance. Like they have jobs that are hard. For example, a truck driver, any night shift work even, where it's hard to maintain that work-life balance and that burnout is very, very easily attainable. Do you have any advice on how people can get over that slump?
Well, that's difficult because when you're thinking about truck drivers, they do like, well, what comes into my mind is like long haul truck drivers, right? They go from like one province to another province, from one province to the States or anything like that. And they're like on the road to like 24 hours or so. For them, it can be a little bit difficult, right? Some may not even believe in the work-life balance. For example, truckers. There are some truckers that like try to prioritize their health. Like, I don't know if you've seen on TikTok, but there's like a few people that say, oh, like we have a load, but we have like a 3-hour wait or something. And then they decide to go to the gym, right? So they can take steps like that if they want to, but like, why is it that this is a challenge to them, right? So we need to like deep dive a little bit more into that. Like, okay, they got families at home, right? They're doing this long haul for the money, for the bills, right? And you know, like maybe some truck drivers are doing it to get away from their families, right? maybe their wife or like their kids or their parents are giving them a hard time. And this is like mainly like from like the South Asian community, right? So yeah, some ways that can overcome these types of barriers for like be able to do like a healthy balance in their work life and personal life is to find services, right? Like financial services. If bills are their biggest problems or like, you know, helping to raise their families and all that, they should start saving, make a plan. You can talk to like advisors, talk to your community workers, talk to anybody, open up a Wealthsimple account, right? Start investing in there. Even if you don't know how to invest, you can ask your friends, your peers, your family, again, a bank advisor. If it's like those truck drivers that are running away from their family problems, they should, you know, sit down, have a conversation with their families and speak about the issues that are going on before things get even worse, where like, you know, he's never home, especially as like a breadwinner. And if your partner's not working, you know, maybe ask your partner to start working, you know, I mean, in like financial situations, you
like
got to do it.
Like honest conversations.
Yeah, exactly.
And like just focusing on like the root of the problem, because if you continuously are running away, you're not helping yourself in the long run. And at some point, your body is bound to give out if you don't prioritize your health, because health just goes beyond like physical. It's like mental and emotional as well.
And like, I don't know if you've seen like videos on Instagram or TikTok where where they show like drivers passing out while they're driving, and you know what does that cause? Accidents. And it's like you rather have your life kind of like prioritized in that sense before you fall asleep on the wheel and cause yourself an accident, which can lead to like obviously worse things.
Exactly. They're like overworked and they feel like they have no choice because they want to provide for their families. But seeking services is a great like first step to like having a more successful future. And a lot of the services out there are free. They're free of charge. So all you need is like time. Even if you do like night work or you're on the road a lot, they're all available virtually. You can go on a phone call, which might help you as well because you're having that social interaction. Even connecting with your family, like talking to a loved one that you feel emotionally connected to, safe around, that can help a lot because it helps fill your cup mentally. You're able to speak to somebody that is listening to you.
Even your friends.
Exactly. PCHS is a not-for-profit organization that provides services free of charge. We help our community with various services, for example, mental health and addiction. This includes like one-on-one counseling, case management, referrals, groups. That's not all. We have more programs to help our community grow. For more information, visit our website at www.pchs4u.com.